Hey, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. This is another episode of the Getting the M3 Up to Snuff series. Today is the check engine light video. I'm actually going to be doing more like a DIY, how to replace the camshaft position sensor. I have the part in the box here. Here's the part number for those of you that need it. Got a genuine BMW one. Oh, and also don't forget your seal as well. Got a genuine BMW one because FCPR's like OE labeled one was out, so I got stuck with the almost $150 sensor. But at least you got a lifetime warranty, so you know, that's fine. So I'm gonna go ahead and pull this out of the box here. Got a brand new sensor. So now let's get into DIY. The tools you'll be needing are a 3/8 driver ratchet, a 1/4 inch driver ratchet. It really depends on your socket set, but this is what I'm gonna be using. A 13mm socket. This is if you have a metal oil filter housing. If you have a plastic one, you will need a different size. A 5mm Allen key. This is for the bolt on the camshaft position sensor itself. A box end wrench. This is for the Vanos solenoid. 10mm for the fuel rail cover. And a 19mm box end wrench for the top of the Vanos oil feed line. And then always a flathead screwdriver because you can never do a job without one of these. So for step one, we're going to go ahead and pull the fuel rail cover off. So you grab your flathead screwdriver, get in like the little hole where these clips are, pop the clips out. Alright, now we got both clips off. Then you're going to grab a 10mm socket and pull these bolts out. Shouldn't be that tight. These are not supposed to be torqued down that hard. Alright, once you got them fully off the threads, you can kind of just pull the cover up. You leave the bolts in there even. Pull it off. Generally, I kind of like to leave the bolts and where they were so that nothing gets lost. I'm going to set this off to the side. Then for step two, you're going to take this guy off. You don't have to take him fully off, just kind of pinch here on the sides and then pull him off. Alright, there we go. Sometimes it gets a little hard to get off, so just be mindful of that. And something that's never a bad idea is grab some paper towel and kind of grab a piece and kind of stuff it into wherever got an open spot. It's not really that necessary, especially since this isn't going to be off for a while, but you don't really want to get like stuff into your oil. It's not very good for it. So now with that out of the way, we're on to step two. Step two is going to be to pull off or disconnect the Vanos solenoid. So the Vanos solenoid has a little connector down here, which you're essentially has this little clip, and you're going to pinch it and then pull it off. Like so. Alright, so got that guy off. The reason you're going to disconnect that is because the next thing we have to do is pull the Vanos solenoid off, and you want to disconnect it first, because if you leave it in, like plugged in while you're twisting this, then you could twist your wires and screw them up. You're going to grab your box end wrench and you're going to stick them on the Vanos solenoid and you're going to turn. Alright, so we now got him broke. It turns towards the driver's side of the car. So it's threaded on the regular way, except it looks reverse threaded from your point of view. So just keep that in mind. And it is going to be on there tight. It should not be crazily torqued on there. So you're just going to kind of twist this guy off now and be mindful of where your wire is. I'm going to set him in a safe place. Alright, so now you have access. That's your camshaft position sensor right there. Second to last thing is disconnect your Vanos oil line. Your Vanos oil line is, I believe, an 18. I have a 19 here. It's all I have on me, so, and it does work. And you're going to turn it towards you. So it is going to twist this way. But now I got that pretty loose, actually. Something else to note, if you're doing this, make sure to replace the O-ring on your Vanos oil line if you don't know how old it is. Mine is less than a year old, so I'm not really concerned about it. Or maybe it's about a year old. So mine's fine, but we're going to go ahead and pull this guy off now. Or rather, just move him to the side. I'm going to take this bolt and I'm going to put it with the Vanos solenoid where it is safe. So the next step is going to be pulling the camshaft position sensor off, and I was kind of messing around with it, and I realized that since this car is a metal oil filter housing car, I'm gonna have to pull the cap off to get room for the bolt on the camshaft position sensor. So if you're unaware, this bolt here is a 17, so I'm gonna go ahead and get this guy off, and then we're gonna pull the CPS out. So now that we've got the oil filter off, we're gonna go ahead and get the camshaft position sensor off. I already stuck my ratchet on here. Just know there's not a lot of space if you have a metal oil filter housing for this to fit into. This is where you're gonna use your 5mm Allen key. So I'm gonna go ahead and twist this guy, and I'll show you what we're gonna do next after this. All right, got this guy off. Then we're on to the last step. Gonna pull this guy out kind of gently, but you are gonna have to work him out a little bit. There we go. And then now you're gonna have to unplug him. So unfortunately, there is not a lot of space under the intake manifold. So essentially what you're gonna have to do is you're gonna have to shine a flashlight, shine it under there, and you're going to have to look for the plug. It is the same kind of plug that the Vanos solenoid was, so you push down on the tab and then it pulls out. And you're gonna unplug that, then you're gonna grab your new camshaft position sensor and you're gonna plug it into there. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that. I doubt I'm gonna be able to get any good footage, but we'll see. Alright guys, we are back, and I got the old camshaft position sensor out, and this is what it looks like. Something I have literally never seen before is the connector for this was, apparently there's a bracket back there, which I'll show you in a second, or just play B-roll over. There's a bracket back there, and the plug sits in the bracket, and you have to push it out and then pull it towards you so that you can take it off. I also pull off the alternator cooling duct. And then also, previous owner decided to zip tie the cord to something down there. I can't see it. I can only assume it's either the block or some other vacuum hose. And it was on there so tight, it left zero room to cut it off, so I had to just cut the cord and pull it out. Needless to say, next time I have to do one of these, it's not going to be nearly as difficult because that zip tie, I don't know what it is with this car. The previous owners just love zip ties in this thing. It is very frustrating. But I got it out. I'll kind of show you down here what I did. So all the way in the back there, you might be able to see it. It's some kind of bracket. You can see there's a plug next to it. And maybe, oh no, you can see it there. That bracket was essentially holding the plug, and it was in like here, and then, well, the cord was, anyway, it was in like this, and I had to slide it out and then be able to pull it towards me, and then I was able to push down on the clip and pull this out. Just for you guys who have cars that are pretty nice, that's like something a mechanic would do, basically. Almost no DIYer would bother putting it back in its little holder because it doesn't need to be there. But just something for you guys to know if you're struggling with it. Shine a flashlight under the intake manifold, take a look because it's probably in there, and there might also be a zip tie or something else in the way. Now that I got this out, I'm going to take the old one and I'm going to plug it back in, and then basically just do the reverse process of getting all this off. I didn't end up taking more off than I thought I would because I've never dealt with one of these before, and then the alternator cooling duct was getting in the way. I think with the plastic housings you get more room. So I'll go ahead and see you guys when we're all done and we'll wrap up. Alright, so now we got everything back together. Something you should always do before you put all your tools away, before you get everything ready, you want to start the car and make sure that it all works, and you want to monitor everything you just touch, make sure A, nothing's leaking, and B, it's idling, smoothing, whatever. I've done jobs before where I put everything away and then I went to go start it and you're like, crap. And you realize that halfway in there you forgot something to plug it back in and you got to pull it all back apart, but yeah, just save yourself the effort. So let's go start it and make sure it turns on. It sounds smooth. Alright, so checked everything over, idled smoothly, seems to be running a little bit better. I'm going to clear the check engine light and we'll see if it comes back in the coming weeks of me driving it. If it wasn't that, I'm going to suspect that the air intake temperature sensor might be bad. Anyway, that's unrelated. I hope you guys enjoyed this little camshaft sensor DIY. If you want to see more DIYs like this, comment down below, let me know what you think. I haven't done one of these in a while, but just basic E36 repair that I didn't really see a lot of information out there on. So make sure to like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye, everyone.